Hey guys, it's Hope, and today I'm going to be making a video on my Lyme disease story part 2. Yes, it's finally that time. I've been putting off this video for a long time because I wanted to reach the point where I could actually feel like I was giving people some sort of hope and making it into a positive thing rather than a negative thing. Okay, because Lyme disease is such a negative thing, and it's easy to be negative about it, and there's nothing wrong with being negative about it and like venting and getting your feelings out, because that's like completely normal. But for me, if I'm like constantly reading negative stuff or hearing negative stuff, then it makes me really depressed, and I don't need that in my life. If you saw my last video that I posted like literally a year ago, I probably seem like a completely different person, and that is because I am. I actually feel like a person again. I've gotten to the point, I've gone through so much and forced myself to like go through just difficult things to get to this point and become the person that I am today, and I'm going to be talking about some of that and like some of my struggles, but the payoff that I got from the struggles. So right after I got diagnosed with Lyme disease, I didn't really know how to feel about it, because it was nice knowing that I wasn't actually crazy like all these doctors thought, but at the same time it made it real. So it was very difficult. All my friends were just finishing up the school year, and they would be juniors the next year, so they would be upperclassmen. And I kind of got to like miss out a whole semester of school. And when my friends like first found out that I got sick, of course, like they were really concerned, and they were like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I feel so bad." And they would like send me gifts and like always text me asking me how I'm doing. But over time, like over summer and over time, the texts, there were less and less texts, because people move on with their life even if you aren't moving on with your life, which was probably one of the hardest things that I've had to learn. Sorry, I keep getting a ton of text messages. From what friends? I don't know. So basically I hit this point where I was given this treatment plan to go on by the doctor who diagnosed me, and it was kind of overwhelming because I had never taken daily medication before, and he was like, you have to take like 20 pills a day. You have to take thyroid medicine because your thyroid, well, that's messed up. You have to take antibiotics, and you have to take all these supplements that are probably going to make you feel worse before you get better. And of course, that is what happened. I felt awful like the minute I took antibiotic, like the first antibiotic, and even like some of the supplements, I just felt awful. So summer passed, I still wasn't able to go back to school and be a junior with all my friends. And at this point, I had gotten so bad that I was like not even able to leave my bed every day, and this continued on for at least 6 months, where I like couldn't get out of bed at all because I felt so bad and had so many symptoms. To the spring semester, where I decided I wanted to try and go back to school, and I hadn't been in a whole year, like a whole year's worth of school. So I was kind of nervous about it, because I had changed a lot as a person, because I think it's like kind of impossible to change if you go through something this like significant in your life. So after a whole year, I went back, and it was very difficult because everything was different. Like no one was friends with the same people. Even the people themselves had changed. Like even the shy girl was now like crazy and like really out there, and just like no one was the same, nothing was the same. And I kind of had started dealing with a lot of like depersonalization, because Lyme disease took away something that I was so familiar with. Like I had grown up with this, I'd gone to school with the same people ever since I was younger. So to have everything so different and change was so hard, And another difficult aspect of that was that a lot of people thought I moved because before I got sick I was talking about how I wanted to move. So they thought I moved. A lot of people didn't know that I was even sick. And the very first day I was back, I heard like a bunch of people who were kind of bullying me when I was really sick say, "Oh my God, she's still here." And that just confirmed the anxiety that I already had, that people were looking at me. They were watching me. And I hated that. I hated it so much. And going to school wasn't anything like I thought it would be. Like, I thought I would be so happy, like, going back and living life again and not just being stuck in bed every day and being around people who I used to be friends with. But everything was different. So that was really hard. And I could only go to, like, 2 classes. And then I dropped down to 1. And then I dropped down to none because I just couldn't do it. I still had a lot of brain fog. I still had a lot of symptoms. It was hard for me even going like every other day for 1 period because I was still so sick. So I dropped out of school again and decided to try and do online school, but online school wasn't really working for me that well. So another summer passed and another 6 months passed after that. So they were already all my friends and stuff were already halfway through their senior year, and I was still technically a second semester sophomore because I hadn't been able to complete any classes because of the way I was feeling. At that point, I was just like so fed up of my life not going anywhere and being stuck in bed and watching everyone live their life without me, and watching all my friends like make new friends with other people and just have all these moments and memories that I didn't get to have, where I was like, I just can't do this anymore. So I went to a treatment over Thanksgiving, and it actually made me feel like pretty bad after I got home, but then I started gradually feeling better. So I think halfway through January or the beginning of February of this year, 2016, I decided, okay, I cannot do this anymore. I need to get out of the house and at least do something that I actually want to do and that I can enjoy. So I signed up for dance classes and this music school. And it was very difficult for me because at the time I was struggling with like a lot of OCD. I didn't like germs. Like I didn't even let family members hug me. I still don't really that much. I didn't want to like touch any doors, and like traveling was difficult. So I had to go to dance and like sit on a floor where people put their like sweaty feet and touch bars where like little kids had touched them and like put their hands, and I had to do it. And it forced me into an uncomfortable situation, but I also met other people there and was just around people again, and it was so nice to be around people again. Then I started going to the music school, and the music school was also very good for my anxiety because we were not forced, like, I mean, they didn't hold a gun to your head, but they wanted you to perform every week. So I would have to get up and stand and sing, and even though I wasn't very confident in my singing voice or anything yet, I had to do it, and I had to stand and like sing and be vulnerable in front of people, and that helped my anxiety so much. So while all my friends were seniors in their last semester at school, I was like doing dance classes and music, and I was happy with that until they all graduated. So the music school had come to an end except for like voice lessons that I was going to do over the summer, but all my friends were graduating, and I think that was very difficult for me. I tried to play it off and be like, oh no, I'm fine, like I don't want to be normal, like I want to have a life where I'm not normal and like can do cool things. So yeah, that was really hard, and at the same time I was still dealing with a lot of like depersonalization and just the feeling of being so stuck, because Lyme disease just made me so stuck in this place and it was hard to get out of. So all my friends had just graduated. I didn't even go to their graduation because I just didn't know anyone anymore and no one knew me, and that's just life. Like sometimes people change. But I think it was kind of difficult because when that happened, I was thrown into like oh my gosh, this is real. Like, my childhood is over. All my friends and everything familiar to me was actually going to be gone after this summer. Like, they would all be going out and moving on with their life and starting new lives and like learning, I don't know, just they wouldn't be here anymore. I felt like I had been robbed of my childhood because ever since I was 13, I had felt sick and I didn't get to experience like a typical teenage life and go out and do a bunch of teenage things. And here I was, like, still stuck in bed, like maybe going out to do dance and music and stuff, and that was great, but that wasn't really moving my life forward at all. So I don't know, I was forced into a different world, I like to say, because like it wasn't the same world. Like, nothing was the same at all. So much had changed, and I even had changed, but there was still a part of me that longed for my childhood. So I hit probably one of the lowest points I've ever been at that summer because I wasn't moving, and I was like, what's the point of this when my life isn't going anywhere? Like, I'm not doing anything with my life. I'm just going to be stuck sick in bed, and Lyme disease is winning. Okay, it won. Like, I give up. It won. The next day, after that very, very bad night, I woke up and I was like, I need to do something. I cannot like keep living my life like this. Or like, what life? Like, I don't have a life right now. I need a life. I need a life back. I need to have friends. I need to go out and do stuff. I need to make memories. I need to have experiences. And even though I didn't feel well, I wanted all of that. The school that I really wanted to go to, I thought I couldn't get into it because you had to choice in. But as it turns out, my mom applied for me and I ended up getting into the school. So I actually had some sort of plan to my life that would start in August. So back in August, this was just a few months ago, I was so nervous to go back to school. Like, I had a bad experience with high school in the years past with like being sick and like drama and just all this stuff. So I was really nervous and I didn't know if people would accept me because I was a little bit older, just because like I was 2 years behind in school. And so they had this orientation thing and I met a friend there, and I already like met a friend and everyone there was so nice and accepting. And when I went to the school, I was like afraid that it wouldn't actually be like that, but it was. And the school is so amazing. It's just such an accepting school, and it was such a good decision because now I feel like I'm actually moving in my life again. And I'm not saying that, oh, I like Lyme disease doesn't affect me anymore. Like, I can go to school and I can do all of this stuff, because that's not true. It's a struggle every day to get out of bed still. But I don't want to go back to the place that I was, where I was just sitting, staring at these four walls in my room. And that is my motivation to get out of bed, even though I don't feel well. I'm going to like throw up and like have to probably go to the nurse a few times a day. I don't want to be in that same place. I want my life to be moving again. I want to continue to have a life. And I have reached the point where now I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of friends who understand me because I went to this retreat for people with POTS. So they kind of like understand the chronic illness thing because I have POTS too. That's a separate issue, but I have so many issues. But I'm at a point where my life is moving again. I have something to look forward to. I feel like I have goals that are actually achievable now. And I actually have been like struggling so much like the past 2 weeks. I haven't been to much school because I haven't been having constant like migraines and like joint pain, chest pain, like all these symptoms. But I'm somehow still doing it. I'm somehow doing it, and I'm somehow having a life again. And I kind of wanted to make this video for myself because I was having a very depressed week, but I want to remind myself how far I've come. I have a life again, and I don't really know how to explain that, but I have completely changed as a person, and I'm learning so much, and I'm growing so much, and I hope this gave you guys some hope that if you are feeling awful, that eventually things do get better, and maybe you won't feel better, but you can get to the point where you can actually do stuff, if that makes sense. Like, basically the whole point of this video is that I went from being super sick, lying in bed, I keep saying this, being super sick, lying in bed, not being able to get out of bed every day, to getting a little bit better where I could do some stuff, to getting a little bit even more better where I could do even more stuff, and now I'm like doing things that I actually want to do that can help me with my life, and I'm just at a good place. I have mental breakdowns like every night when I'm doing homework, and I'm like, I cannot like physically do this, but somehow I do. Take one day at a time. Yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe, and comment below any other ideas that you want me to do, like, or if you have like any questions regarding like my Lyme disease and stuff. Obviously I didn't share like all the super negative stuff in this video because I didn't want it to be negative. I wanted it to show you like how I can still have a life with Lyme disease. So yeah, leave me your Lyme disease stories in the comments below, and if you ever need anyone to talk to, I don't really go on Instagram anymore, but you can probably comment below and I will try to respond. And yeah, I just hope you guys realize that things can get better, even though you can still have things to look forward to in a negative situation, and stay smiling, continue to keep growing. Don't let Lyme disease win. You will make it through this, and someday we will find a cure and we'll all be happy. Bye.